Ladies and gentlemen, stop. Before you spend that 2 pence coin, you need to hear this. What if I told you that hiding in your pocket, in your car's cup holder, or in that jar on your dresser, is a coin that collectors are offering hundreds of pounds for? I'm not talking about ancient coins or rare gold. I'm talking about ordinary-looking copper coins that you've probably held 1,000 times and never looked twice at. But here's what the dealers don't want you to know. 3 specific coins from the late 90s and early 2000s have minting errors and rare features that make them worth an absolute fortune. And the crazy part? Most people are spending them without even knowing. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because I'm about to show you exactly what to look for. And it could literally pay your bills this month. Let's dive straight into our first coin, and trust me, this one is an absolute game changer. We're talking about a 2 pence coin from 1996, but not just any regular 2 pence. This year produced one of the most famous and valuable errors in British coin history. Here's what happened. In 1996, the Royal Mint was transitioning their 2 pence coins from bronze to copper-plated steel to save money on production costs. But during this transition, something incredible occurred. A small number of coins were accidentally struck on the old bronze planchets instead of the new copper-plated steel ones. This wasn't supposed to happen, but it did, and those mistake coins are now worth serious money. We're talking about an error that slipped through quality control and made it into circulation, creating an instant collector's dream. So how do you identify this rare 1996 bronze 2 pence? Here's the key test, and it's so simple anyone can do it. Grab a magnet. Any household magnet will work. The normal copper-plated steel 2 pence coins from 1996 are magnetic. They'll stick to your magnet. But the rare bronze era coins are not magnetic at all. If your 1996 2 pence doesn't stick to a magnet, your heart should start racing because you might have just found something incredibly valuable. The bronze version also weighs slightly more, 7.12 grams compared to 7.00 grams for the steel version. But the magnet test is the easiest way for anyone to check at home. Look at the color too. The bronze version has a slightly warmer, more golden copper tone compared to the redder steel version. Now let's talk about what this coin is actually worth, and prepare to be amazed. A circulated example of the 1996 bronze 2 pence, even in average condition, can fetch anywhere from £50 to £150. That's already 2,500 to 7,500 times its face value. But if you've got one in better condition, the values skyrocket. A coin in very fine condition can bring £200 to £400. Extremely fine condition? We're looking at £500 to £800. And here's where it gets absolutely insane. If you have an uncirculated example with original mint luster and nowhere at all, collectors are paying £1,000, £1,500, even up to £2,000 or more. Some of the finest graded specimens have sold at auction for over £3,000. Yes, you read that right, a 2 pence coin worth thousands of pounds. The reason this coin is so valuable is simple: rarity and demand. It's estimated that only a few hundred of these bronze era coins made it into circulation. Compare that to the millions of regular steel 2 pence coins produced that year, and you can see why collectors go absolutely crazy for this variety. Every serious British coin collector wants one of these in their collection. If you find a 1996 2 pence, do the magnet test immediately. If it's not magnetic, do not spend it, do not clean it, handle it carefully by the edges only. Get it authenticated and graded by a professional service. This is one of those once-in-a-lifetime finds that could turn your ordinary pocket change into a small fortune. Check every 1996 2 pence you come across. Check your parents' coin jars. Check everywhere, because this little error could be your big payday. Now let's move to our second coin, and this one has a story that proves even the Royal Mint can make mistakes. We're talking about the 2001 2 pence coin, and what makes this year special is a fascinating error that happened during production. In 1998, the Royal Mint changed the design on the reverse of the 2 pence coin. The portrait of Elizabeth II on the front stayed the same, but the back was updated with a new, more modern design. Everything was going smoothly until 2001, when someone at the Mint made a colossal blunder. A small batch of 2 pence coins were struck using the old 1971 reverse design instead of the correct post-1998 design. This Mule error, where the wrong dies are paired together, created one of the most sought-after modern British coins in existence today. So how do you spot this incredible error? It's all about the reverse design, so flip that coin over and look carefully. The correct 2001 2 pence should show the new reverse design with the Prince of Wales feathers and the inscription around the edge reading 2 pence with beaded borders. But the error coin shows the old reverse design from before 1998. The old design has new pence written on it instead of 2 pence, and the overall layout is different with the Prince of Wales feathers in a different style. If you find a 2001 coin that says new pence on the reverse, stop everything. That's the wrong die pairing, that's the Mule error, and that's your golden ticket. The date 2001 on the front with new pence on the back should never exist together because by 2001, all coins should say 2 pence, not new pence. Let's talk value, and this is where things get absolutely mind-blowing. This error is extremely rare, with estimates suggesting fewer than 100 examples exist in circulation. Because of this rarity, even a heavily worn example can fetch £500 to £800. A coin in fine to very fine condition is worth £1,000 to £1,500. Extra fine condition examples have sold for £2,000 to £3,000. And if you're lucky enough to have an uncirculated specimen with full original luster and sharp details, we're talking £4,000, £5,000, even £6,000 or more. Some of the finest known examples have been sold at major auctions for over £7,000. Think about that for a moment, a coin with a face value of just 2 pence selling for thousands of pounds, all because someone at the mint grabbed the wrong die. This coin is incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors worldwide. British era coins are a massive collecting category, and this 2001 Mule is considered the holy grail of modern British circulation errors. If you have any 2001 2 pence coins, check them immediately. Look at that reverse design. Does it say new pence or 2 pence? If it says new pence, you've just hit the jackpot. Do not spend it, do not clean it, protect it immediately and get it professionally authenticated. Even if you're not sure, it's worth having it checked by an expert because this error could literally change your life. Go through your change, check your coin collections, ask family members to check theirs. This tiny mistake by the Royal Mint could be your biggest financial win of the year. And now, let's talk about our third and final coin, and this one might surprise you because it's not as rare as the previous two, but it still holds incredible value for the right collector. We're looking at the 2003 2 pence coin, and what makes this year special is something that many people completely overlook. In 2003, the Royal Mint continued producing 2 pence coins with the portrait of Elizabeth II on the obverse and the modern Prince of Wales feathers design on the reverse. Now you might be thinking, what's so special about that? Well, here's the catch. While millions of these coins were produced for circulation, certain varieties and conditions have become surprisingly valuable. Plus, there are whispers in the numismatic community about potential minor error varieties from this year that haven't been fully documented yet, making every 2003 coin worth a closer look. What should you be looking for on a 2003 2 pence? First, examine the overall strike quality. Some 2003 coins were struck with weak dies, resulting in mushy details, while others came out with razor-sharp definition. The sharp ones are worth more. Look closely at the portrait of Elizabeth II on the front. Check the fine details in her hair, the crown, and the facial features. On the reverse, examine the Prince of Wales feathers. Are all 3 plumes clearly defined? Are the beads around the border uniform and well struck? Check for any doubling in the lettering or numbers. Sometimes minor die errors create slight doubling that can increase value. Also, look for coins with original mint luster, that beautiful reddish-brown shine that proves the coin hasn't been heavily circulated or cleaned. Some collectors have also reported finding off-center strikes and other minor minting errors from 2003, so examine every detail carefully. Now let's break down the values, and while this isn't as dramatic as the previous 2 coins, there's still money to be made. A standard circulated 2003 2 pence in average condition is worth its face value, just 2 pence. But once you move up in quality, things change. A coin in extremely fine condition with minimal work can be worth £2 to £5 to the right collector. About uncirculated examples with just slight handling marks fetch £8 to £15. Here's where it gets interesting. A fully uncirculated 2003 2 pence with brilliant original luster and nowhere at all can sell for £20 to £40. And if you find one graded at MS65 or higher by a professional grading service, values can reach £50 to £100. Now, if you discover an actual error variety like off-center strike, die crack, or doubling, the value multiplies significantly, potentially reaching £200 to £500 or more depending on the error's dramatic nature and rarity. Why am I including this coin when it's not as rare as the others? Because it teaches an important lesson: condition is king. Many people ignore common date coins thinking they're worthless, but a common coin in pristine condition can be worth far more than a rare coin that's been beaten up. The 2003 2 pence represents opportunity for those willing to search. Check your change regularly, look for the sharpest, most lustrous examples you can find, and set them aside. If you're lucky enough to spot an error variety, you've struck gold. Even without errors, building a high-grade collection of modern coins is a smart investment strategy because as time passes, fewer and fewer uncirculated examples survive. So don't overlook that 2003 2 pence in your pocket. Examine it closely, check for errors, assess its condition, and you might just have something worth keeping. Remember, today's common coin is tomorrow's rarity, especially in top condition. So what are you waiting for? Grab your coins, start checking, and who knows, your next coffee money could actually be worth a fortune. Drop a comment below if you find any of these, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden treasures.